Alright, so this is a review of Yamato's 1/60th scale YF-19 prototype number 4, call sign Double Nuts. And this is my favorite part of every Macross line, is when there just aren't enough official paint schemes for a particular toy or model, and they have to just start making them up. Because nominally, there's about 2 YF-19s as far as color schemes go, so they just said, hey, it's the 15th anniversary of Macross Plus, let's make a couple more toys, and just make some up. And if you're wondering why is this called the Double Nuts, it is because apparently the pilot, which I will show you here, let me just open the cockpit. And because this thing's made of rubber and it's basically stuffed in there, you can see it's the same as the last YF-19 release as far as sculpt goes, but this is apparently Amy Cunningham, descendant of Oliver Cunningham, the test pilot for the VF-0, and so she's apparently 00, which is double nuts. It's a naval term. Anyway. Oh, and that's all from the back of the box, if you're wondering. So what is really the difference between this one and the regular YF-19 release or the 25th anniversary release? Well, they actually improved the build quality of the toy, and it feels a lot nicer than the last two. I'm sure that the package renewal version of the standard YF-19 will probably feel this nice. Not that you can really see what's the difference in fighter mode, but we'll get to that when we get to gerwalk and battroid mode. So, of course, as you can see, and again, like every single one of these toys, you got some landing gear made of die cast. And because of the improved tolerances, getting these in and out is a struggle. But anyway, so as you can see, this guy's white, and it's kind of an off-white, a little bit of gray mixed in. For the most part, but, you know, honestly, this really works for me. This is a great color scheme, even if it really is just a palette swap of the standard YF-19, where what was black is now blue, and what was red is now black. But still, it looks really legit. It just looks very nice. An excellent, excellent color scheme. Alright, you can't really do much with it in this mode except, make it look pretty. I guess you could move the head laser a little bit. But yeah, looking good. So we're going to go to the transformation to gerwalk mode and see what they changed. Alright, let's go to gerwalk mode. And let's see if I can make this any smoother than Josh's video. Alright, so first thing we're just going to do is disengage the wings on the legs, and that just undoes a couple of locks right here. And then there's just a couple more right under here where the shoulder goes into the leg. You can just bring the whole leg down. And as you may notice, this particular toy, their much touted improvement over the first release is the joints are a lot tighter. And that's has its good points, it has its bad points, but really it feels like almost like a whole new toy now. And we're just going to pull these up. You just pull them up, slide them up. Flip out these fill-in pieces, because when they get bored, they just start making fill-in pieces. Pull out the feet. Make sure you didn't push in the fill-in piece. Alright, set this guy down. And you just kind of have to reposition this back part here and just pop these off. Get the arms out. Take the shield off. Bring the arms forward, and the arms just have a couple of shoulder pauldrons you just kind of bring up and snap out. And there's also a couple of panels on the inside here, and if you have a good fingernail, you can just pull those out. There we go. And just kind of fiddle with this, reposition these in here. And on the arm, there's a couple of mechanisms that you just need to be aware of. There's a little pivot joint that you bring in and snap in place, and then you pull down the bicep. Attach the gun. Flip out the hands. Get the swivel joint on the other arm. Yeah, even that's tighter. It's really just amazing how much tighter everything is. And do that. And here we go. This is gerwalk mode. We stand them up properly. So, yeah. I would say, unfortunately, they did not give a proper lock for this upper torso here, as far as gerwalk mode goes. That's just kind of part of the design. It's always been the Achilles heel of basically every single VF-19, YF-19 toy. But still, I appreciate the tighter joints. I love the paint scheme. It just brings this whole design to life. I'm just kind of slotting the gun into the hand. There's a little peg in it, so that stays in place. So yeah, gerwalk mode. You got some arms, you got some legs, and looking pretty cool. Alright, so let's go to fighter mode, or battroid mode. Alright, moving on, the star of the show, battroid mode. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just push down this front piece here, and you can just kind of disengage the front of the nose, which will expose this part of the gullet here. Just pull this out, snap it in place, and now this is the part that everyone thought was really scary on every single one of these toys. So basically what you're going to do is there is a tab that you unlock back here, and just a couple more tabs under here. Now I will admit I have actually sanded these tabs down so that doing this is a lot easier. Honestly, it doesn't really affect the toy that much if you sand them down. I mean, you'll never see this, you'll never see the tabs underneath, so feel free to do that. And just rotate the canards. And there we go. One more thing, we're just going to start bringing up this whole mechanism here. And at the same time bring up the head. Rotate that in place. And here's the one bad thing about the joints being tighter, is that there is a small panel here which is harder to bring out on this new one with the tighter joints, especially if you put it all the way back in. So I just left it partially out so that I could still reach in there and grab it. Alright, so now we're ready to do the very iconic part of the YF-19's transformation, which is just bring the whole thing up and over. And there we go. And just reposition the hip wings in place and straighten everything out. Flip up the crotch joint and get this guy ready to stand up. Okay. So here we go. This is the YF-19 double nuts in battroid mode. Again, it looks really sweet. Loving the white paint scheme. Yeah, the joints really are a lot tighter on this thing. I mean, one thing that they had done as kind of the test, if you see some promotional photos, is they just kind of put their finger up here and then lift it up, and you can see nothing's really going anywhere. Now, it might not be immediately evident, so I'm going to bring out my trusty, somewhat dusty 25th anniversary YF-19. This is kind of nice. We got black, we got white. Ninja, another ninja. Looks pretty cool. So, this is what they mean by the joints are tighter, watch. Yeah, look at that. Now, I must admit, this guy is relatively fresh out of the box, and this guy has been loved. I mean, I like these toys. I definitely was looking to get another one. But yeah, this guy, he's just old and floppy. This guy is really solid and tight. So, as far as improvements go, I definitely appreciate just improving the build quality of the toy. So, overall, this is a pretty nice release of the YF-19 toys by Yamato. Again, I appreciate them taking the time to make a whole new paint scheme, because, it's nice when they play around with stuff like that. And really, getting another YF-19 out there is always a plus. A Macross plus.